while we're working on that, my first slide was just a presentation or an introduction. So I will just introduce without the cute picture of me as a little Girl Scout. So my name is Allie Van Overbeck, and I am a membership specialist in the Lansing area. And I truly believe in a distant future where when we say I am a Girl Scout, instead of hearing, oh, can I buy a box of Samoas? That we hear, oh, well, I know you're a leader then, or I know I can trust you to handle this. Or are you working on your gold project? And so you will notice that a lot of my presentation is based around that mindset of let's help the rest of the world understand all of the awesome things that Girl Scouts are doing. So I'm hoping that you can now see my screen. It says I'm screen sharing, so hopefully we're cruising for bruising and we will get started. All right.
Hey, Allie, sorry, just real quick. Would you mind making me a co-host so I can help add people who are in the waiting room?
Oh, great. Yes, let's see if I can do this better than I did for Leanne when I made her the only host. Let's see. Whoops, moving too quickly. Where do I do that?
There should be like 3 dots next to my name. If you look.
Oh, under participants. Got it.
Do you see my little square?
I do, but it only says make host. It doesn't give me an option to make you a co-host.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, hold on. I'll make it so others can share. Sorry, everybody, about this. Nope, don't. All right, hold on. We'll do it this way. All participants, nobody take advantage of this opportunity to share your screen. Okay, now if I changed that and I make you the host, then if I can't share my screen, you're going to have to redo that for me.
Okay.
All right, you are the host. Now if I can't share my screen. Oh, I can. Oh, great. Okay, sorry, guys. I promise I'll use my quick talking to get us right quick through this. Okay, great. So, as I said, I am here to show you about sharing on social media. So, social media is like the new community connection. We know in this world that we're using social media a lot more than we did before. I'm not going to talk about TikTok today. I can't even spell it correctly. I keep saying tic-tac. So I'm not talking about that today, but I will be talking about Nextdoor and Facebook. So one of the things I wanted to break down for you is the difference between an internal and an external community that you're talking to. So your internal community is going to be the people that you're selling your Girl Scout cookies to, your Facebook friends, your troop, the people that you're friends with. Your external community are people that you might not know, but that you share something in common with. So these are going to be the moms groups. These are going to be the pandemic pod groups that are showing up. Maybe a news source that you're able to comment on their page. Anything of the sort would be considered an external group. And we want you to be sharing the Girl Scout mission with both. So we know that people know that Girl Scouts is crafts and cookies. What they don't know and what we want them to know and what we need your help in making sure they know is what Girl Scouts is really about. It's about STEM. It's about life skills, outdoors, and entrepreneurship. It's about what we do and, more importantly, how we do it. You're signed up for this session, then I know that you are committed and you know the value of Girl Scouting in your girl's life or in your own life or the influence it has had on you. And so we want to be sharing that mission. We want people to know that Girl Scouts are doing things girl-led, that when you have a Girl Scout in your presence, that she can take on projects, that she knows time management, that she's an entrepreneur. She's selling a Thin Mint cookie, but why is she selling it? How is she selling it? And what is she doing with that? So how to on Facebook. Internally, this comes down to highlighting your girl's accomplishments, not just when she's selling cookies, but at all times. When you're highlighting your girls' accomplishments, try and allude to the Girl Scout promise and the Girl Scout law. One example that I was thinking of is, you know, today she was courageous and brave. We learned that she's not going to have a history as a veterinarian because she's scared of snakes, but she was courageous and brave. Because in that message, you're sharing something about your girl, but you're also sharing that Girl Scouts learn to be courageous and brave. And that is something, or courageous and strong, I'm realizing it's cut off here, but brave as well. The bonus of this is you get to brag about your girl because there's no Girl Scout values that are bad Girl Scout, that are bad values. And you help promote the messaging of our program. So it's a double win, and you're helping to spread the mission. You can sneak in language about leadership. So you can say she took on this project, or she led a team, or you know, all of the girls in my troop talked to a city official. Or you can say outright, you're saying she's a leader. I know that my girl, because of Girl Scouts, is being a leader in her community. Look at this community service project she saw, and she served the need. There's no bad promotion of Girl Scouts. Externally, it looks a little different. So externally, the way that you can be sharing the Girl Scout mission is by joining all those groups. I have been joining so many groups that now Facebook has really weird suggestions of what it thinks kind of groups I want to be in. But girl leadership groups, mom groups, PTO pages, all of that is good publicity and connects us to people who we want to know more about what Girl Scouts are actually doing out in the community. When you're posting externally, remember to follow the community guidelines, and keep in mind that every time that you post about Girl Scouts, you are building on our image. You are making people think something when they think Girl Scouts. So make sure you're following the community guidelines and you're keeping a positive outlook. So some people are not totally sure what Nextdoor even is. It's kind of the up and coming app for communities. So it's a neighborhood hub for trusted connections, and it exchanges information about goods and services. So Nextdoor is really great for events that you have coming up. So now these might be virtual right now, but you can still promote them. We have our free family fun events that we have going on for interested girls to learn more about Girl Scouts. You could promote those in your Nextdoor event. If you're starting a new troop, I've had Nextdoor posts where I've said, hey, there's a Hiawatha troop starting. Would you like to join? Here's some information. It's going to look a little differently with our virtual world, but we want you building, I like to call it building the Girl Scout muscle of promoting Girl Scouts. It's going to happen little by little, but you're going to get stronger and stronger at it. And one day, when we're not all social distancing, you'll be a pro at Nextdoor, and you'll be ready to go for those in-person experiences as well. Information night, same thing. It's kind of like a announcement app. So it's more, or a website. So it's more of a like, hey, I've got this going on. Connecting with neighbors on topics. So I have followed a lot of topics of the schools in my area, so I know what's going on at Cornell Elementary. The thing about Nextdoor is you have to live in the area or know an address in the area to join the app with that area. So it is limited. They do want people who live next door to one another, as opposed to somebody in California trying to promote here. You wouldn't be able to get in. Nextdoor is not for adding people. There's no profile. There's no like add your friend or anything like that. It's really announcements and information going on in your area. And sadly, it's not boasting. It's not about boasting your girls' accomplishments. You're not going to get a lot of connectivity if you're saying like, hey, everybody, look at what my girl did, if you're not sharing something that the community can also benefit from. So as promised, here's some best practices that I found on social media. So I like to pick a message, stick to it, and figure out my truth. So if you look on my personal Facebook page, you know that my truth is I think that Girl Scouts is a platform that empowers girls to be who they want to be and gives them the resources and tools to believe the sky is the limit. So anytime that I am posting on social media about Girl Scouts, that's what I'm sticking to. It might be a little different. I might not word it the same, but over and over again, that's what I'm trying to say. That is my message. I'm trying to make it sticky. So if you've read the book that I'm going to reference later, it's by Malcolm Gladwell. He talks about sticky messaging. So we want it to be sticky. We want it something to remember. Oh, that's Allie. She believes that Girl Scouts is the platform that gives girls the tools to believe the sky is the limit. You want that to be consistent. You want it to be, if your message is Girl Scout help my girl come out of her shell, continually say that. Build on that message. If you're sharing information, so if you're sharing information about a event or joining a troop or Girl Scouts in general, it's great to be informed and know what you're talking about. You also don't want to be a bot. So including an anecdote about your life. I love Samoas. Do you want to buy some Girl Scout cookies? Here's the information. Here's blah, 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 blah. But you started with, I love Samoas. So a bot doesn't love Samoas. They don't eat cookies. Give as much information as you possibly can. And if you can, give it twice. So when I'm posting on Facebook or Nextdoor about an event, I want it in the picture, I want it in the description, I want it in the Facebook post, I want it as many places as possible. So if someone doesn't catch it the first time, they catch it the second time. This is the same thing with our mission and our promise and our law. As many times as you can kind of throw it in, it builds on our message and our mission, which is the ultimate goal, is to educate everyone around us about everything amazing that Girl Scouts does. When possible, include a picture. This probably goes without saying, but people look at things more that have pictures. Focus on the positives and be cheerleaders for others. If you're friends with me on Facebook, you know that I love to comment randomly on your posts. If your daughter made food and it's making me hungry, I'm going to tell you it's making me hungry. If your daughter just made an awesome contribution to your community, I'm going to say, way to go, Jennifer. That's awesome. So we want to make sure that while we're promoting Girl Scouts, we're being cheerleaders for others and all of our girls' success. But you want to build a presence. If you're doing this externally, you want to build a presence on different pages, like on mom groups or pods or anything like that. But you don't want to be repeating the same content. So if you're saying, I want you to join my troop, you don't want your next post to be like, I want you to join my troop. You want your next post to be like, friendly reminder to join my troop. So you want to build on your image and remind people that you're not just reposting the same thing, but you're trying to start a conversation. The most important thing of all these best practices is to be yourself. So if it's not authentic to you, people are going to recognize it. I'll give you a story. My dad listened to a voicemail that I recorded, and he was like, doesn't sound like you at all. That's so cheesy. You're going to need to re-record that. My dad is a specific example because he knows me incredibly well, but while I thought I was being true to myself, I was being a little too hyped up more than I usually am, and it was apparent to my parent, but it was apparent to people around me that I was trying to promote something rather than being my authentic self. Okay, I'm going to pause really quick and ask Leanne if there's anything in the chat box.
Yes, Susan Thorman asked, so for Nextdoor, you could use your school address or the address where your troop meets.
Yeah, so for Nextdoor, you would put, in order to get an account, you're going to put your own address in to prove that you live in that area. But when you're posting about an event, I did discover today you can't not have an address. So if it is a troop meeting or something like that that you're promoting, I would pick an address, but try and make it abundantly clear if it's virtual right now, that it's virtual. In future worlds, when we're meeting in person again, or in social distance world, if we're meeting in person social distance, yes, you would, for the event, you can type in the address that the event is taking place. But in order to get the account, you'll want a residential address. Great question.
Another question from Kelly. Where is a good private place to post for troop members to receive info and photos?
Yeah, definitely. So we have a lot of troop leaders that have troop Facebook pages, which is a great way to stay connected. That is a great way for them to share what's going on. I've seen a lot of troop Facebook pages pick up over this COVID time, and people will post, you know, I'm doing a porch drop off today, get excited for the porch drop off, or show me, you know, what you did to complete this badge. And that's a great way to promote community as well. But I think that, and if anybody else wants to jump in the comments, feel free. But in my experience, the Facebook group page, as long as you have a lot of parents who use the Facebook or girls who are old enough to have their own Facebook that might use it, the Facebook group is a great avenue. Are there any others, Leanne?
That's all for now.
Awesome. Okay. So why are we telling you all of this? You might be thinking, hey, Allie, this sounds like your job. You would think so, and it is. And I spend a lot of time working on this. But you guys, as our leaders, can join groups that we can't get into. So when I try and join a PTO page, they say, well, do you have a student at our school? And I say, well, no, but I'd still like to talk about Girl Scouts here. And they don't like that. So we need you to join these pages that we don't have access to. For next door areas, you can only have one account. I use my parents' address because they live in the area that I serve in. And that is still technically my permanent address. So I don't want anybody thinking that I'm lying to next door. But if you can help out your membership specialist and join next door and post in areas that maybe they don't live in, next door has been a great community to access information and post. So additionally, it means a lot more coming from you. You guys have the good stuff. You've got the stories. You've got the Girl Scouts doing the incredible things in Girl Scouting. I can say, well, I heard of this one girl and she seems really great, but it's a lot more coming from you as the members of the community and people that people in this community group might recognize with and say, oh, I know Ashley. I was her second grade teacher. I can't believe Ashley is doing those great things. Well, maybe my girl should join Girl Scouts so she can do those great things too. It means a lot more coming from you. On a similar note from what I just said, it's your community, it's your authenticity, wow, and it's your message that is going to build our Girl Scout impact. So if we didn't have you out there promoting the Girl Scout image, we could spend, I don't even know, $1 million. I don't think we have the budget for that, but we could spend $1 million saying, you know, Girl Scouts isn't just about cookies. Girl Scouts isn't just about cookies. And it's not going to get as far as when you guys are saying, did you know that my girl's doing more than selling cookies? We'd love you to buy her cookies, but she's also being an entrepreneur when she sells those cookies and making sure that that message is clear. And so you came to this webinar to learn about spreading the mission, and by posting about what your girl has gained through the Girl Scout experience to your friends and your family and your neighbors and your communities, that is how you help us spread the mission. That is how you help us teach others what's going on in Girl Scouts with the awesome things that are happening. So in case you're like, well, I don't even know where to get started, I don't even know who I would be. The book by Malcolm Gladwell called The Tipping Point was one of my summer quarantine reads, and it has a very interesting perspective about 3 types of people. We're going to call them Julia Gordon-Lowe's, but it's just 3 types of people. So there's the connectors, the mavens, and the saleswomen or salesmen, if we have any men on here. And so I'm not going to go through all these questions, but our connector is the person who knows people. They are in those community groups. You start in a soccer tryouts and you've already added all of the parents on Facebook by the time you get home. You're the person who is saying, oh, have you heard from so-and-so? You should really check out so-and-so because I think that so-and-so would help you with so-and-so. We need you. We need the connector in our lives, and we need that connector to connect membership specialists to the people who are interested if you are a connector. Next, we have the maven. So if you love poring over our source, if you thrive on the trainings that we have on the updates on product information, if you know the 3 processes and you can say, well, that was girl-led or that was learning by doing for sure, you are another benefit to the Girl Scout mission and sharing the Girl Scout mission because you serve the role of having the information. You're in the know. People say, I want to register, and you say, psh, go to this website, register, get it started. You want to contact help desk. I know their hours. They're open from this time to this time, Monday through Friday. Dee's favorite thing is da 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 da, and if you bring it to her, she'll give you she'll give you extra smile when you're leaving. We want you to let us know. I don't know if I'm completely out of time. It just said I'm almost out of time. And then the saleswoman. The saleswoman is the person who you are able to convince everybody of everything. We need you too. We need you to be out there spreading the message and saying, I think you should join Girl Scouts. I really think that your girl would benefit from Girl Scouts, and here's the reasons why. So like I said, we need all three of you, and every single one of you falls into one of these categories. Maybe you're a mix of two, maybe you're a little bit of all three. Whatever it is, we need you to help us spread the mission. I'm going to pause again. Hope I'm not getting cut off. And Leanne, are there any questions?
There was a question about what was the other book aside from Tipping Point that you mentioned?
Oh, it was The Tipping Point again. So The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell is also the book that talks about things being sticky. So his whole book is about what is going to tip over a product or a program or an idea to be a crazy success. And so that's what I want for Girl Scouts. I want us to be a crazy success. And so we want to make sure that our message is sticky. And so yes, they were both Malcolm Gladwell, The Tipping Point, great read. So what are your next steps? You've learned all this great information. You're feeling super great. You're like, yes, I love talking about my girl. I love talking about my troop. I love joining Facebook pages and saying hi. What can I do next? Great question. You can join some more groups. I'm sure there's more out there. If you are in a community that is figuring out what is happening with your online school, see if there's a pandemic pods group. They might not call it pandemic pods. It might be bubbling. But it's a term that people are using to pair off in communities, sometimes similar to Girl Scout troop formats, that might be a great resource for people who are looking for social interaction with their girls or kids. Also, like I said, parenting groups, PTO pages. Make a Nextdoor account if you want to, and post an event that you have coming up for your girls that you would, want more girls in your troop for, or an event that you might say, we have a free family fun event. You could post one of our events if you wanted. That's okay. I would recommend for the address, since you have to put in an address, putting Girl Scouts and then just mentioning twice, 3 times, maybe 4, that it is a virtual event, so we don't have a bunch of people showing up at our regional offices expecting some event that's online. Reminding your internal communities to re-register. In doing so, you're also spreading the message, because if you remind the people that you know who are already in Girl Scouts to re-register, you can remind people by saying, we want to continue building our girls of courage, confidence, and character who make this world a better place. And Girl Scouts is ready to go for this year. I just had this awesome kickoff event. And so while you're maybe giving a specific ask to people who are in Girl Scouts, anyone reading your stuff is saying, oh, Girl Scouts is prepared? Girl Scouts isn't canceled? Maybe I want to join Girl Scouts. And if all of that is like, I'm not there yet, again, this is a muscle. You might need to work it a little bit. It might not be the strongest yet, but you got to do a few sit-ups a day to get there. You're going to want to make a post at what Girl Scouts has done for your girl. So again, whatever your truth is, whatever your messaging is, that's what you want to be sharing to share our Girl Scout mission. I'm going to throw something out there, and I want you to all set a deadline on your calendar for this time next week to do some form of social media mission sharing. So whether that's you saying, I had a great time at kickoff. I'm so amped for this year. If you want to be a leader, reach out to me. I know all of the information about being a leader. Or you want to say, if your girl wants to get involved, I can connect you with our membership specialist. Whatever it is, I want to try and encourage all of you to push for 1 week from today, making your first post. So to help you out, I have some phrases that I've been using specific to this time that I think are helpful to promote our mission. So our Girl Scout year, our new Girl Scout year, starts on October 1st. So this is a great time to connect to that troop, find your new troop, and start your Girl Scout journey. I mean, it's always a good time to start Girl Scouts, but this is a really great time because no one's behind on anything. The Girl Scout year hasn't even quite started yet. It's like school shopping, We are prepared here at Girl Scouts for a dynamic year of virtual, in-person, and hybrid Girl Scout experiences. It's really important to emphasize that Girl Scouts is not canceled. We are ready to go. We are ready to rock and roll. Whatever your scenario and your comfort level is, we are ready. And I always try and post our mission, that Girl Scouts builds girls of courage, confidence, and character who make this world a better place. Right now, and a great thing to emphasize for people who maybe aren't totally there on board with that mission yet, is that this really is a great organization for all the parents struggling with how their girl is going to socialize with other girls their age safely. We've built the curriculum, we have the programming, we're ready to go, and reminding people in your community that this is an opportunity for them to socialize with girls their age, and all of the work's been done for you. All you got to do is register and find a troop. It couldn't be easier. So that is all I have for you. Again, I know I had a lot of information packed into this, but I wanted to make sure that we had the best information for you. So Leanne, is there any other information in the chat box? And I'm going to stop sharing.
No other questions I saw, no new questions, just a lot of thank yous and feeling inspired and appreciation for the information.
Great. Would anybody on our team like to add anything to the presentation? That I haven't gotten that we're getting kicked out yet, and I think I still have 2 minutes. So if anybody would like to contribute, I would love to hear it. Anybody have any posts that they have done on social media that people have said, oh my gosh, wow, I didn't know that about Girl Scouts, or you just really like bragging about your girl and you're so amped to have an excuse to talk about how great your girl is?
I have something, and it's not an original thought. It was not my idea. It came from Susan Thorman. She sent this to me about service unit managers using this tipping point information. The 3-person examples can help us find the leaders for different service unit positions. I just loved that connection. I think that's an amazing connection between what you shared, Allie, the marketing aspect, and how we can think about different people and how they can contribute.
Definitely, yeah, that's awesome.
Allie, this is Connie. And after your presentation, I'm going to tell any service unit manager on this webinar that Allie's ready to take her show on the road. And all you have to do is get a hold of me or Allie, and we will work it out if you'd like this presentation done at a leader meeting for your service unit.
Sounds great. Hopefully I won't have to shoo the guy who's fixing my toilet away next time. Well, I can't thank you enough for coming to this presentation. I hope you guys all have a wonderful night and you're feeling inspired to share the Girl Scout mission. We're doing amazing work here. We've got a dynamic, exciting year ahead of us, and I can just tell from the energy in the room that it's going to be a great one. So thank you so much and have a great evening.